Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk, and so I'm looking for new ways to buy records. So I'm looking into online, finding nearby estate sales, and finding online auctions. So this estate sale was about 90 minutes away. You see, they had a picture on the internet of these 45s in this wire rack that they were selling. But do I want to drive 90 minutes each way to see if any of these records are decent? I probably don't. And I also found an online auction. Now, this isn't a VC online auction. I've done some of the VC online auctions. So you got Adam from the Record Crate. That's just a sale, not an auction, but an actual auction with bidding. You've got Rob the Wax. I've gotten stuff like Camper Van Beethoven, Key Lime Pie for him. He does jazz records as well, like Henry Threadgill. And then, of course, there's PB Thal, Patrick the Vinyl Archivist with the world's cleanest records. And I've gotten like Ozzy, Blizzard of Oz, and I'm blanking King of Four Entertainment from good old Patrick. And so then I found an online auction that was dealing with a town that's a couple hours away from me that was looking to go back to visit. There's a record store there that has a bunch of 45s that I never got to search through the time I was there before. But there was an online auction in this town, and so I'm bidding on some stuff. The pickup day would coincide with when I could go visit the town. All right, so you can see some of the stuff we can bid on: Timey Wynette, Stevie Wonder, Dottie West, Carly Simon. So you're saying like, oh, this kind of looks like the normal record you're looking through before, and you're kind of right. Sir Douglas Quintet, that lot is pretty interesting. Not so much these other ones here. Typical Elvis records, REO Speedwagon, Jethro Tull. Those Julie Londons, I can get them cheaper than I can get them from Rob the Waxed. And you got Loretta Lynn and Willie Nelson, Olivia Newton-John, Buffalo Springfield, the usual sorts of stuff. And who else do we got? We got some Glenn Campbell and some Carter Family. And, of course, lots of Johnny Cash, Doobie Brothers, Chet Atkins lot, Bob Dylan record, Heart, and Seal Jefferson Airplane, and the Neil Young Harvest that I've never gotten around to buying. Doors, John Travolta, of course. And then, of course, they've got stuff that's not records that they're selling here. They got this lot of 100 assorted records. They had pictures of a lot of them, not all of them. Most of them are junk. A few of them might be decent. Maybe I'll try to get that. We've got some anti-Axis postcards. This postcard with Hitler getting kicked in the ass would go well with my Dead Kennedys. Nazi punks fuck off. And then you see some other stuff that they're selling here. And they've got 78s as well. You know I don't buy 78s. All right, so you can see that I ended up winning the Sir Douglas Quintet lot of 3 for $1, and I was willing to go more. I wasn't willing to go $6 for the Julie London lot, so somebody else got those. And then it went up to over $110 for the big lot of records. All right, so I picked up my auction lot of those 3 Sir Douglas Quintet records. I didn't film. It was just like the auctioneer's place was in this industrial part of town, and it was like super efficient and went really fast, which I was pleased. All right, for the auction video, this is the big reveal. So we've got the Sir Douglas Quintet records here. Lot number 234. I paid $1 for. After the buyer's reserve and sales tax, it was like $1.21. So like 40 cents a record. And so you can see, obviously, the cover's probably not the best. There's a seam split on the bottom. The record, oh yeah. Record's clean, record's flat. Yeah, the cover's so-so, but the record's good shape. So then we've got the Sir Douglas Quintet Tex-Mex, live Texas Tornado Tex-Mex. And this was recorded, I think, in the early 80s. This came out on Tacoma in like 1983. And again, yes, vinyl record looks unplayed, or not played very often, for sure. And that one has a better cover than the first one. And finally, this is, I guess there weren't 5 of them, because they just called them the Sir Douglas Band. It's kind of a weird picture because it's like a tornado, and there's like white behind them. So if you look at this online, it looks like the cover is water damage, but it's not. I mean, you've got some ring wear. It's a promotional DJ copy. I think this was from like 1973. And you can see this one is a cutout. Promotional. Yeah, it looks like it's got the original Atlantic Atco advertising sleeve in it. And it's the same story. Somebody didn't listen to their Sir Douglas records very much. All 3 records are super clean, even though there's definitely some wear on the covers. So all in all, not too bad. All right, so this would be a different town. This would be Comerville, where the pickup would be the next day if I win. There you can see there are 2 boxes of 45 RPM records that nobody had bid on yet. I'm going to put in minimal bids for those. They had some pictures. Nothing in the pictures is anything exciting, but they didn't show nearly all of them. So I'm going to take a cheap flyer and see if I can get a deal. Okay, so this is pre-picking up the boxes of 45s here in Comerville. Dovey's is like supposedly like this classic place that does like the deep fried hamburger. And there's Bargain Barn, which looks like it's no longer open. Here are the 2 boxes. I'm not even going to look through them yet. I'll find some place to stop and look at them somewhere along the way and pull out the ones that might potentially be interesting. Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. So I'm back from my trip, and I bought a couple lots of records at auction. I already talked about the Sir Douglas Quintet lot, the 3 LPs. Now the next thing, and I haven't even looked at these records yet, is I bought 2 boxes of unsleeved random 45s for $5 each, so $10 for all of these. It might be a good deal, it might be a bad deal. They only had pictures of a few of them at the auction site, and all the ones they pictured were like standard 60s, 70s country and mainstream. And it could be that everything in there is like that. There could be nothing local or unusual or good in there. Maybe this person had bland taste. Maybe all the good stuff had already gotten skimmed out before they put it up for auction. I don't know. But as I said, I haven't even looked through the records yet. So here's the first box. And then we've got the bigger plastic bin. And I'm going to look at them off camera. You know, I was driving home. Had a good time. A few hours. I did back roads. And I was listening to Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers along the way. So it was all very Americana-ish. Okay, so I'm reporting back after the smaller cardboard box. Now, all the records are surprisingly clean. They all seem to be like VG+. Absolutely no promos at all. Well, I don't have any sleeves. I mean, they got rid of the sleeves, but it seems like they took pretty good care of the records. They didn't put them in those fucking wire racks. I'm pretty sure that these were just records that somebody bought and listened to not all that often, and they've been sitting in a box for like 40, 50 years. As predicted, most of it is 60s and 70s country and mainstream stuff. The I haven't found any like odd local labels yet. I haven't gotten to the plastic tub. This is the only artist I haven't heard of, the Oxfords, Your Way. And Come On Back to Beer. So I'll have to look up to see who the Oxfords are. So apparently these were Jan's records. What I thought was probably the coolest find is we've got Question Mark and Mysterians, 96 Tears, in pretty nice shape. I'm happy to get that. And along those lines, we got a Wooly Bully by Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. As I said, we've got plenty of classic country in there. And of course, Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash, If I Were a Carpenter, in very nice shape. Several Elvis records in here. They're all RCA labels. I don't think I'll be lucky enough to get like a Elvis on Sun. This is that horrible black label that always wears away like that. U.S. Mail. I don't remember that song. I did find a Rolling Stones, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And a Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand on the Capitol Swirl. And then we're going to look through the bigger plastic tub to see if there's anything interesting in there. I'm really hoping to find some cool local stuff, but I think it's all like mainstream major label stuff. All right, so I went through the big blue tub, and again, it was mostly major label hit stuff. But again, almost all the records are in nice shape, will play fine, with only a few exceptions. I did find a couple things I'm happy about, and a couple things I don't know what they are. So a couple unusual finds, which may be nothing or maybe something valuable. We'll find out when I look them up. Okay, so we got the Corvairs with Hard Times and Talk to Me. Aren't they like a vocal group, I think? We found an Ike and Tina Turner on Sue. So I'm pretty sure this is from the 60s. I'm Jealous and You're My Baby. To continue on with the Sir Douglas Quintet. I found a She's About a Mover single elsewhere, along with a lot of the 3 LPs I bought. This is actually the dirtiest record in the entire lot, but I already have a better copy of it, so it's not a big deal. Go along with the Beatles on a Capitol Swirl. We got California Girls by the Beach Boys on a Capitol Swirl, California Swirl. Yeah. I don't know who Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs are. I'm suspecting like doo-wop R&B sort of stuff, but I don't really know. On Herald Records. Now this one I think I'm very happy about. The Sonics with Applejack and Foxfire on Feral Records. I think this is a really good find. And we got a nice clean James Brown on King. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, parts 1 and 2. Always like to find clean James Brown. And I already have a few copies, but why not have another copy of Wild Thing by the Trogs? And then let me show you a couple things that I'm not quite sure about. So this is on Trip Records. Stranded in the Jungle Cadets. And there's absolutely no information about where Trip Records is based out of. And the other side has Clouds, Spacemen. I have no idea what this is. So I'm going to need to look this up. And then we've got this on Teardrop Records. Somebody named Sonny. Every week, every month, every year. Crazy Cajun is the publisher. So maybe it's like Swamp Pop. Talk to Me on the other side. Violins by Emilio Cabarrus. So this could be something pretty cool. And then finally, Blue Angel Records out of Louisville, Kentucky. High Steppin' Daddy by Grover Gaddy. I have no idea. Never heard of Grover Gaddy. The Sound of Her Footsteps is the song on the other side by good old Grover Gaddy. Okay, I did some research. I do have a couple cool local records and some cool stories. So Grover Gaddy here on Blue Angel Records, High Steppin' Daddy. 1965 from Louisville, Kentucky. Listed on Discogs as country. The A side is a bit rockabilly-ish sounding. Years Too Late. Flip side is straight country. A lot more people want it than have it. It's like a $30 record online. This is one of these records. If Max Stevens listened to the A side, he'd be pretty happy. If you listen to the B side, he'd be like, "Oh, straight country, my girl broke up with me" song. And then we got Sunny and the Sunglow, Sunny and the Sunliners. So this is from like San Antonio, Tejano on this Teardrop label. Not a valuable record, like a $3 record. This weird record on Trip. So apparently it's like two different minor hits from the 50s by two different groups. So you got The Spaceman Clouds was an instrumental rock song from 1959. Stranded in the Jungle by the Cadets, a doo-wopper from 1956. For some reason, put on a record, reissued it sometime in the 60s, I think, not sure. Like a $4 record. Now here's a good news, bad news record. Okay, so the bad news is this is not the famous Sonics. This is not the Sonics garage rock band from Tacoma, Washington. This is the Sonics instrumental rock band from the early 60s from Louisville, Kentucky. One and done. It's got some R&B elements, some surf elements. There's saxophone involved. Couldn't find any value on it. 3 have 18 watt in Discogs. Couldn't find it on eBay or 45 Cats, so I don't know a value, but a lot of people want it, and it's apparently rare. We got Maurice Williams in the Zodiacs, Harold doo-wop from 1960, about a $4 record. Another cool one was the Oxfords on Paula, which I was thinking was going to be country, but it's not country at all. It's another Louisville band, but it's like a weird garage psych novelty record. So I found a picture of them on Discogs. They look like total hippies, but they don't want no marijuana. They don't want no LSD. They just want beer, beer, beer. They were listed as being sunshine pop on Discogs, but this isn't. They were beyond that at this point of time. One of the band members is female, the guitarist Jill DeMarco, who was one of the co-writers of the song. She actually was the singer of the flip side, Your Own Way. Apparently, they were sort of popular in Louisville in like the late 60s, early 70s, but never broke nationally. But they would open locally for people like Frank Zappa and the Grateful Dead. And the records, even though, I mean, it's a lot of like very straightforward stuff, everything's like playable. Most of it, whoever had these records didn't tear them